All right. Hello, everybody. We're just getting lined up here. I wanted to get our stuff all set up. So waiting a few more minutes. Wanted to jump on before. So just hang in there and we'll wait and see if more people. All right. We'll get in there. How you doing? Good?
Good. Can you hear me?
Yep. We are good. We are live too, so
okay.
Yeah, I think tonight's will be pretty good. So.
I don't know how to change to do like the video. I don't have that option.
Oh, you don't have that option.
Mm-mm.
I'm gonna promote you to a panelist that might give you that. Okay. So rejoin now.
Oh, my video says you have disabled it.
Oh, I did. All right. Come on. Yeah, I found out the meeting you can't stream, so I was like, oh,
bummer.
Sucks. Dang it. I don't know why I see the little icon, but I can't get to it again. It says I've disabled it.
Yeah, that's what it says. The host has disabled it.
Okay. Let's see. All right, let's see. Maybe I can do this. Hi, chat, rename. No, I don't want to remove. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, just keep yourself that way.
Okay.
How was your all your Christmas stuff?
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you got a few of them, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. And yeah, but it's all done now, and we're back to normal pretty much.
That's cool. Yeah, we get lucky because my family's so small in town, that it's only when we're up in Canada where Rachel has like 16 aunts and uncles.
Yeah.
That it's a lot busier, but so this year was pretty chill. Pretty good. Chill. Yeah, got all my Christmas stuff done today, so that was good.
Oh yeah.
Wait until about the 7th. January 7th. That's what we like to try to do. If we can. That's
nice.
Yeah, just to keep it around for a little bit longer. So yeah.
Cool.
Well, cool. Well, let's get started. Tonight is going to be a little different than typical because what we're going to kind of explore, and this is where hopefully I can figure out your video thing. I just don't know why that's not happening. Maybe if I make you the host, that I don't know why that would. Maybe a dual host. Let's try that.
Well, but anybody that joins should be able to have their video on.
That's what I would hope. I don't know why that is happening. Everyone. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why that's happening. All right. I know. Well, anyway, so we'll keep going. So tonight I wanted to kind of show something that we've had at the office for a long time. A lot of people don't know about it. It's something Dr. Matt and I had done for a long time on different things. And what I'd like to tonight to start with, the biggest thing is understanding that we try to overperform in our movements, right? So what I mean by that is like there's so many things that just pull at our heartstrings on, like we want to exercise like when we were 17, 16, 20, you know, those kind of things. And a lot of those things become overwhelming. That's why one of the New Year's resolutions things that we've always found is like people in New Year's resolutions make it about a week and a half, you know, and they don't necessarily mean to do that. But what occurs over time is that some of the stuff you're asking your body to do is massively too much, right? So what we want to do tonight is, in the 1% tribe way, is to give you things that will really make a difference, like going forward, but they're not this huge commitment that you have to do all these things and go to the gym for 3 hours when you don't have time for, you know, just fall asleep at night, you know, because you got 17 other things. So one of the things I love is that we put together this like a YouTube channel. It's called My Peak, like MYEPEAK. So I'll put it in the chat, www.mypeak.com. We'll do that. And it's on YouTube. And a lot of times those will be really good videos that you can watch. And so we're going to go through a few of those tonight. I think they'll be fun just to do those because they're kind of set up nicely. So we don't have to like get all crazy in the Zoom, you know, in the Zoom aspect of things. So without further ado, I will get on that. Before I do that, let me get into the one I want to show first. And then, oh, hang on. Give me my list. All right. Sorry. Keep talking if you got some. No. All right, give me the list. Sorry, people. You're watching. All right. You are watching because some of them are hilarious. So that's really what I want to go into. All right, let's start with, we did so many. All right. Oh, here's a good one. We'll start with this one. I think Dr. Matt will appreciate this one as we go. So I'll screen share and then I'll show you this one. This one's pretty good. It's one of those that we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, and like it's something that we can actually do that will make a big difference. So we're going to screen share, and then we're going to go into this one. I'll try to get it full screen.
Here. You want to strengthen your brain today? Here's one simple way.
Dang.
Check it out.
I need a haircut.
So I'm a right-handed guy. Okay. I was brushing with my left. Oh, interesting. What have we always heard about our brain? What happens to our right side of our brain?
So our right side kind of controls the function of our left side, right?
What happens to the left side of the brain? It controls the function of our
right side.
Yeah.
So if you introduce that in a different way, that could
be something to do because we always brush with the same side.
We
Probably.
always brush with the same side.
Okay.
And so we actually developed this pattern, like our muscle memory videos even.
Right.
We developed this pattern of ease of brushing with one side, so we stimulate that.
Yeah.
But what I want to do is I want to challenge that and turn on the other side of the brain.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So what would be the reasoning behind that? Like,
Well,
why would you do that?
Because when you do that, you're actually creating new connections in your brain. You're actually literally rewiring your brain. You ever heard the phrase, if you don't use it, you lose it?
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And then one of the things, the new science is out there, and a lot of these different like therapies and all these kind of things is about neural connection and learning new stuff. Like so, that learning behavior is something so simple could change
Something
it.
so simple.
Yeah.
All we're doing is we're just rewiring the body, rewiring the system and saying, hey, let's start developing new connections. When we use just our dominant hand, which is typically for 80% of the people, their right hand,
Right hand, right?
it's their left hemisphere, the left side of the brain is firing,
Yeah,
but their right is really not.
that's amazing.
But what happens when you use your non-dominant hand,
Mhm.
you not only get your right firing,
Right.
but they actually show that your dominant side fires as well.
Yeah,
So you're actually firing both sides of your brain by just simply using your non-dominant hand.
that is awesome. What if you did that with a lot of different dominant hand stuff, like combing your hair? You could do it that way.
Combing your hair, what's an interesting thing?
What's
Switch,
that?
switch the fork and knife.
Whoa, didn't even think about that one.
Yeah,
I
but
might have to try that one tonight. Actually,
it's a
That was
great
good
one. It's an easy one to try.
Sure.
It's just do that. Obviously, you could even try to write with your hand. One easy thing is even just like, you and I did it when we were kids at Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
would trace our hands and make a turkey.
right.
If you trace your hand with the opposite hand, don't try to, write out Shakespeare with your opposite hand.
Absolutely,
But
right.
if you start doing that and just start rewiring, retraining, you're actually going to strengthen your
Right.
brain and develop better brain health.
What's neat about what you're saying is, so it's not like you're changing your day to
No.
do these things. It's something that you could just try, like just that day. So it's not like a new thing even.
And there's
But
so
you're
many
changing your brain,
things.
right?
There's so many things you can do, but the reason we love this one
Yeah,
is because this one, as the son of a dentist, we're supposed to do
we're supposed to do it all the time.
2 to 3 times a day, right?
Right, exactly.
Do you know how many minutes you're supposed to brush your teeth?
Ooh, I think my kid's up 2.
Yes.
Yes.
Good job. Son of a dentist, very
Yes.
proud of this young man right now.
Now, I know because that music's really annoying on the one kind. That
They
kids have to
you
do.
push the button.
Yeah,
Yes.
and it lasts like 2.
But think about that. So if you just brush your hand, brush
Brushing
your teeth with your opposite hand
for 2 minutes.
for 2 minutes, 2 to 3 times a day.
That's a lot.
That is a tremendous brain exercise. And was that really changing your lifestyle?
Nothing.
And then,
Oh, that
now
sounds
here's the biggest side effect.
Right.
The first few times you do it, you're gonna look and feel like an idiot.
Correct.
Now, do you usually have an audience when you brush your teeth?
No.
Or maybe
Well,
a kid,
hopefully.
maybe a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually,
Depends.
Yeah.
When they're a little younger, now they're getting more where they.
they don't want to be around dad in the
Yeah,
back.
they're smart.
Yes, they've
They're
learned,
smarter.
avoid dad in the back. But the reality is you can do that, you can practice that and actually start to develop those connections.
Yeah.
And when you start doing things like that, you are literally increasing your brain because a lot of things, obviously we have Alzheimer's, obviously we have scary things like Parkinson's.
Yeah.
But really when it comes down to dementia, it's just frankly cognitive memory stuff. It's the old adage, if you don't use it, you.
Correct. You lose it.
Yeah.
One of the things that we get caught up into is we have a favorite chair with our favorite TV program. Well, the problem with that entire process is you're getting information put into you. It's not creating something new. And so the simpler we can do this, the better off, right? Because we're in that world right now. We have to figure out a way to actually move and create input on ourselves.
And I love that, just the monotony of day to day. You're breaking it up in a simple, really just a natural way
Yeah,
by just saying, instead of doing this, I'm gonna do this.
correct.
And
Right.
you're literally, you're increasing the capacity of your brain to fire overall. You're making new connections and you're pushing off some of those scary things that we've all seen.
Exactly.
People's brain function just not being what it used to be.
Right, and it's just all simply using what you have and in a little way that maybe,
Yeah.
could change your whole life. So
So
That's awesome.
that is as simple as that. So thank you. Welcome
Thanks for
to,
hanging out for the bathroom with us.
yes, we don't plan to shift over there and do a video
Yeah.
on that thing anytime soon.
Subscribe to our channel and I will flush this toilet a couple times. Oh, yeah. I had to
We
throw that
flushed
in
the
there, baby.
the toilet on camera.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
All right. So that was one of our first ones. I
Yeah.
was very impressed. I'm very happy it turned out the way it did. Oh, who do we
Turned
got?
out good.
Yeah, Jess, I know you came into the bathroom scene. That's very sad, but it was one of our first ones. But that one, I wanted to show that because as you were talking about movement, many times, like, and this is going to be helpful with Jess as a teacher as well. One of the things you can do, what if you find the kid that's more hyperactive, right? So one of the things they've learned is that when you cross pattern their brain, so a good example of that will, if you have a kid that's like super, what do they call it, ADD now, or whatever that hyperactive disorder, or they think that kid's struggling, they will make them use both sides of their brain. They'll do a stomp and walk. They'll do multiple things to keep those kids active. One of the reasons why an ADD kid does so well in sport, it is because of that, because they're constantly moving their body, putting output out, right? Instead of like having somebody as a, let's say as a teacher situation where everything's coming in. So a little trick you could try, not only for yourself, because this is a easy 1% improvement, right? Like, I can't remember which side. I think I brush my teeth with my right side. Yeah. So I write my right hand. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to do it with my left hand. No brainer, right? So, so that will be awesome. Like, I can't wait to actually try that and see what happens there. But, so yeah. So you got any questions on that one? Or any inputs, Aim? Are you good?
Nope, I think that is you definitely have to be very mindful when doing that.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy, and have like a washcloth because you're going to miss your brain or you're miss your mouth a few times on that.
For sure.
So
Yeah.
that is so true. So I'll keep looking. I want to find. I'll look through. All right, we're going to. All right, let me see. We're going to go back. Maybe into. I'm trying to find that one. Well, let's talk about this because then we'll get into. Well, I'm sorry, I'm looking through the different ones. We did so many, dear Lord. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, I was trying to find our "You Want to Live Longer" one. That was my real big one.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
so
that's
this is our muscle memory one. So I'll let this kind of run as well. I really like this one as well. So yeah, as we go, if you guys have any questions, let me know. It'll be more like a little videos because we've had it just, they explain it a little better as we go. And then tonight, maybe we'll try to end on the "You Want to Live Longer" that Amy knows pretty well.
Yeah.
And because I can't get her dang video going, it'll just be me. So I'm sorry. Very sad. But let me get this one kind of going here. All right. We're getting better at the screen share thing.
Good job.
I
Hello,
know.
everybody. Kyra Guy is here, and today we're going to talk about muscle memory and its effect.
So here's the thing is you know, we're out here and we're bozos doing a health video, right? And guess what? If you go to YouTube, you're gonna find other bozos doing other health videos.
Yep.
And all you gotta do is turn on your TV and watch Dr. Oz and watch the doctors.
Exactly.
And there's all sorts of bozos doing health videos,
Right.
and they're always throwing out the next buzzword, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And you know, it depends on, you know, if you're watching this in 2019 or you're watching this in 2029, what the next buzzword is.
Right, right.
So you know, what are some examples of buzzwords in health right now?
So right now, vitamin K2 is one.
Yeah.
And they're all good buzzwords.
You know, yeah, these aren't bad things.
Yeah, but the amount of information you would get on each one can get very, very confusing. And when you have these buzzes, what we notice in the office is there's a ton of confusion around
Yes,
those.
confusion's a
Oh,
great word.
man. I give an example of like a turmeric or something. Turmeric, not understanding how to do it, but how amazing it is. And then no one really explains like what you do with it, you know, that kind of thing. So
It just gets overwhelming.
It does.
So we are gonna talk about a buzzword because we're nothing if we're not hip and cool guys.
Yes.
Obviously, I mean, look at us. We are always at the top of the
We're-
trends.
I know.
So,
We've coordinated.
but here's our buzzwords.
Yes.
It's M and M,
Yes.
and it is not the melts in your mouth, not in your hands, candy coated goodness. It is actually.
Yes. Muscle memory.
I forgot. That's why I had to look at it.
That's right. Muscle memory.
See what I did there?
Your memory, your muscles have memory. It's amazing.
It is amazing. And here's what's really neat, because we are Captain Analogies.
Yes.
Or boy wonder analogy if
Yes.
we need to be as well. But here's what's really neat about muscle memory.
Yes.
Muscle memory is kind of like riding a bike.
It is.
You and I ridden.
Yes. Right. Yeah.
Yes,
Something.
We did that a lot as
Yes.
kids, right? I don't ride a bike as often.
Right. And I do a little bit more. So-
I enjoy. I mean, I got a 12-year-old, you got a 13-year-old, and
Yeah.
10-year-old. So, you know, yeah, we ride bikes, but it's just not as common now.
right.
But if I hadn't ridden a bike for 20 years and I got on a bike, would I get on and immediately fall over like I did when I was 3?
No, that's the interesting part, right? So, and here's the other thing. Can you explain to your son how to ride it?
Just because I know how to, he's got to get out and touch and feel and do
You
it.
have to, because what happens is like, unless he touches it, I cannot give, Dr. Matt cannot give Josh an instruction manual and say, Josh, this is the step-by-step instruction manual for riding this bike. Once you read this,
You'll be good.
it's all good. But that's kind of the idea of muscle memory. It's
That's a
amazing.
great example. It's just that repetition. And that's what muscle memory is. So muscle memory is a connection between your brain,
Yes.
your muscles, which loosely touching muscles here,
That's right.
that is developed through repetition.
That's it.
So,
Yes.
and the more you do something, the more your body has this unconscious ability to do it, like riding a bike, right?
Exactly.
We don't think, okay, where's that checklist that my dad gave me back in 52
Exactly.
on how to ride a bike? That's a great example. And we don't think that. We just jump on the silly thing and we just start going, and boom.
Exactly.
And
And
that's
that's
because
what,
of muscle memory.
right. And muscle memory becomes what they call like neurological, I would call it reflexive, if that was even a word. But it's probably in your brain somewhere, some subconscious area that is stored, and that's where the muscle memory comes in. So that's what people are talking about when they're talking about that. We wanted to just get out there of like what this muscle memory is,
Well,
and then talk about the rest of it too.
So, you know, we're given this example. Like you said, it's more than just riding a bike. Muscle memory is everything. We actually live in a pretty predominant factory town, which is awesome. But there's a lot of people that are doing this all day. There's a lot of people that are doing this all day. And what they're doing is they're laying in
A muscle memory, a reflex, a neurological reflex to the exact same pattern. Why does your body do that? The best explanation I have is to make everything your body will do is trying to make it easier on the body to
Efficient.
perform it. Efficiency
Always
is
love
a
the
better
word
word.
efficient.
Yeah, not easier, but efficient is way better. So you have this efficiency every movement you do. So why, if you're doing the same one 1,000 times a day, your brain will create a way to make that more efficient for your body. So it's interesting.
Yeah, and you know, another way, of course, no matter where you are, there's a lot of people that have desk jobs, computer type jobs, right?
Yes.
And what are they doing? They're doing this. And anybody that can do this instead of
Yeah.
hunting and pecking, This is muscle memory. Being able
It
to,
is.
type on a keyboard is muscle memory.
Right.
Of course, the obvious thing as well is athletes.
Yeah.
And you could go to the more precision things, like swinging a golf club.
Right.
That is a very precise muscle memory action, or throwing a bowling ball even is a very precise muscle memory action. But
Right.
of course, even shooting shots,
Oh, yeah.
hitting a baseball, all these things are all muscle memory. So muscle memory affects every part.
Absolutely. And so in our next few videos, we're going to talk about a few different things, the good side, the bad side,
And more
what you
specifically
can
for
do.
specific people too, right?
Exactly.
We're
Yeah.
going to talk about athletes. We're going to talk about weightlifters. We're going to talk about that there's this positive side, but whoa,
Yeah.
there's a negative side, Shaggy.
too, right?
And so
Exactly.
we got to make sure we look at both sides, because if it's, we want to make sure you get the best benefit from it.
Sure.
So take a look at all those different videos.
Yeah.
Coming up real soon. You might even see them in little boxes up there.
Exactly. So, and check out the rest of the different muscle memory ones. We're going to have a few of those on there. Our next one will be worth it. So have a good one. Yeah.
All right. So there is that. Sorry about the dogs in the background. But yeah, so muscle memory is an interesting concept because if you train your brain into understanding that every day, you're going to want to do something out of that realm. It's one of the super hard things to do. And that's why in muscle memory action, it might be harder than meditation to actually implement this, to be honest with you. A lot of times meditation is something that you can be like, okay, I have this time, we're going to dedicate this is an action you're going to do. Let's say when we were talking about switching your hands, for brushing your teeth, that's like an immediate action that you can take, right? And so many pieces to this. There's putting your non-dominant leg in first in your pants, right? And so when you put your pants on, that's how these little tiny 1% can be, but they're massive changes. We have to remember that, because like as you go, if it can take an ADD kid and you can change and you can almost calm the brain down based on that's what I was going to go to before. When they do this, they call it a cross crawl or a cross stance, and they like have the kid kind of use both sides of their brain.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah. So when that happens, it becomes this nice calm effect on the kid, maybe for only a moment, and those kind of things. But one reason a lot of teachers are going to multiple different ways to sit in a classroom, there's a couple of elementaries in our area that have couches and balls and like things to keep that activity and that motion going, right? One of the reasons they do that is because they can be the kids are they're listening better, right? And so that's kind of what we want to go through as as these different things go. And so chiropractic as movement goes, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to change your whole 2023 going into an exercise gym or something, right? You could actually just make sure you're changing up how you're doing things, right, in the motion of the day. And I thought that's super important, but we don't ever think of it. You know what I mean? Or challenge your kids. Like with Amy, challenge Sadie to brush with her other hand. See how it goes. Draw right with your other hand, right?
Yeah.
Have a challenge with that. See how much more like calming it is, or concentration wise, just in that trying to draw with the other hand. Now, Sadie's young enough where she could probably end up being ambidextrous if you did that, actually.
Yeah.
Kind of like
She does a lot of things.
Yeah. And if you keep promoting it over the years, then all of a sudden you have this ambidextrous kid that could, like that's kind of how that works. If it's hard to remember to do all that, as they go. One way you see a kid, they're so your child at that age, that young age, is so there's so much plasticity, which is growth that's going to happen in that brain that you can change a ton of it. But what's so interesting about movement in general, and I'll write this down too. It's a pretty complex book, but it's one of my favorites I've been reading. It's called The Brain That Changes Itself.
Ooh.
It's kind of a crazy story. It's a neurologist that, and this is a true story. I don't know if he's still alive or not, but he was taking care of a lot of Parkinson's, strokes, those type of situations. If anybody's ever seen those, a lot of us have, unfortunately. But you have a Parkinson's that, they have a specific tremor in their hand. Typically it's their dominant hand. Sometimes it's both. And then a stroke can be multiple things. It looks like they actually have paralyzed their arm or their leg, or, those kind of things. What he found was that, and this was a ton of research going into this, but he found that one of our biggest mistakes as therapies, as everything, is that we don't do things for those people every day. So let's say their insurance only covered, 3 physical therapy visits a week, right? For 3 weeks, and that would be like an hour. This guy would work with these people 4 hours a day, 4 to 6 hours a day, every single day, like 7 days a week for 6 months. And he was 95%. He was able to correct 95% of his patients.
Wow.
But how many people are patient enough for that? And that's why things like this brushing teeth thing seems so minor. But if we start it now as a 1% improvement, and we'll go over that as we get deeper and deeper into this, we're going to start talking about how you can change your own genetics, right? It's a true statement. It's called epigenetics. That's going to be one of them dive deep days as we study this stuff. But with what genes do you want to turn on? Let's say you have a dad, mom, grandpa, somebody that ended up with Parkinson's. Don't you think movement patterns will be a pretty big deal to your brain eventually, right? Because that's what you've learned as you grow up. Doesn't mean you have to have the same genetic program. You just now have an observation, right? So we have this observation outside that we say, hey, maybe it's important that I try to write with my left hand once in a while. And so that's what I kind of like about this. The muscle memory thing is super cool. I got one more video probably, and then we'll do some questions and kind of an easygoing night with the old having to talk too much, I guess. But I'm sure people are not too disappointed in that. So no, I got this other muscle memory one that's really good. So, that's 9 minutes though. Should we play it, Aim? Is that too long?
Too long.
Yeah, I think so too. All right. Let's leave that alone for now. So
if somebody could conquer the 1% improvement, like by brushing their teeth with their opposite hand that they normally do, like if they could do that and get comfortable with that, then it seems like their mind would be like, oh, well, if I can do this, then you could conquer anything, basically. Because it seems so simple, but it is a very hard task to do something with the opposite hand, than what you're used to. So I'm thinking, like, if you can do little things like that, try eating with your other hand, try brushing your teeth with your other hand, try driving a different way to work, whatever, those things, like, you could, like, that would be a game changer, I think, for a lot of people, because if you can conquer those things and easily do it and change your habits, then you could conquer just about anything.
Yep. And you're literally doing neurological work, right? Like, this is not So you got to remember, we are completely like what we said in that one video. Your brain gets in such a pattern of ease. It gets into a pattern, which is smart. You don't want to use all your energy for the same routine stuff, right? So if I said name 3 things on the way from your house to work, you'd have a hard time with that. Like, because it's the same pattern, right?
Mm-hmm.
So your brain kind of gets rid of that stuff as you go. You know, you might get a different one. Let's say sometimes it's just coming in when the springtime comes. It's my favorite. We're almost January starting, pretty mild right now, so I'm pretty happy because like that springtime comes when the sun starts showing up when we go into work. It's pretty awesome because you start seeing that sunrise, and that kind of changes your pattern, right?
Yep.
But for the most part, there's nothing like that, you know. And so that is a good pattern change. And if you I would say that would be my number one, is try the opposite hand. Like, try the opposite hand, try the opposite foot, you know, do those kind of things. And I think you'll get the most out of what we're doing in there, you know. So there's a couple, and we can show you in the office. We do it as an office sometimes. Hopefully, we haven't done it in a while as a group, but there's another concept that I like people to think of when they do this stuff, but that's stretching when you move positions, right? Because we're so chronic in our different positions. Good example is somebody that sits at a computer all day. So somebody that sits at a computer all day, we want to really gain an understanding of, okay, when you're not sitting at that computer, what's your next movement, right? So, okay, you got to do your work. Here's your break time. Do we sit at the same computer? No, we get up. We do thing. Chestnut is his name. He's awesome. He's one of the chiropractors I love to death, but he showed us this awesome stretch. It's kind of like the YMCA, and I teach it pretty much every day to somebody. So most of my patients know what this is. We call it, I'll see if I'll put it in this chat, but you want to live longer. So we're going to do that real quick.
A good stretch for massage therapists, dental hygienists, nail technicians, people that do eyebrows, like anybody that's hunched over all day.
Yeah. Basically, what we have to do is to fix as a society is instead of let's see if I can do it. My chubby double chin. That's funny. All right. So you're like, instead of being, you don't want this forward head posture that comes here, but this is where life puts us, right? So we want to be back behind where our ears are, near where our shoulders are, right? So one of the things you want to do is this thing called you want to live longer. Okay. So what we're going to do is basically, you can't see my arms, which kind of is hilarious, but so we're going to do a Y as high as you can, as straight as your elbows can get, with your thumbs kicking back, right? And your shoulder blades tight. So you're trying to tighten those shoulder blades. And then you're going to want to make sure your ears are in between your elbows. Okay. So there's the Y and the U. So U, and then you bring it down to create a W. But as you're bringing them down, you're tightening those, and you're again kicking your head back. So that's the W, and you hold that for like 3 breaths or so. And then the 2 is a T. So you're bringing your arms out, pinching your shoulder blades back, thumbs kick back, and then your head comes back a little bit. So want 2. And then this one's going to be the harder one. I'm going to try it, see what happens. All right. So we're going to come here, and then we're going to go live longer. Okay. So those 2, and then you're going to kick your head back. So that by itself is kind of amazing. As you go, you won't even believe how good you'll feel. And what is that? 2-3 minutes, right? So
Yeah. If you do
you,
it,
you guys do a pretty good job.
You recommend doing it like
you guys do,
three
right?
times in a row?
Yeah. Do you? Yeah,
Yeah.
I do it. Yeah, I would say because I practice it all day, it's not too bad for me. Like, so I do it with patients already. So that's super helpful in the room because it's so simple. But what a game changer. I've seen people's heads actually, like literally their head posture gets so much better. And, each degree forward. So let's say my head's up there, each degree forward, every single degree is 10 more pounds on your lower back. Okay.
Oh, that's a lot.
Whatever. So think about if I weigh 200 pounds and every degree forward, my head tilts, I get 10 pounds. So if like an average is about 8 to 9%, so that's 80 pounds. So that would be a 200-pound person puts about 280 pounds of stress on their lower back. Crazy, right? And so then you go, where did the arthritis come from? Right? And that's why, because that's a problem. So, like if you could actually not have that kind of thing happening, that would be good. So those little things is what I want us to work on. I absolutely loving doing this. I know we'll keep having, hopefully we'll have, it'll get better and better as we go. And the more technology I learn. So I apologize. It's not Amy that's got her awesome picture here. It is. She wanted to be on video, but I don't know why.
I feel like in the webinar settings, there's a button that says stop incoming video. I wonder if you could unclick that if my video would come up.
Stop incoming video. Where does that say that? Let me see. I wonder if view. Ooh, let's do that. No, that didn't work. View. Let me see. Oh, immersive. What's immersive? I don't know. We had it figured out that first time. But,
do you have down at the bottom where it says more? Do you have webinar settings?
No, I just have stop the live stream or not.
Oh, that's it.
That's what stinks because I don't know what. It should be simple. I'm sure it's something that I am doing. So that I will figure this out. It will happen. Excuse me. So do you guys have any questions? Jess, do you got anything? Oh, I can put Jess on there. You good? Hello.
No questions from my mom nor myself. Makes sense.
Both are there. Yeah.
Yeah, she's been coming the last couple. It makes sense, and we're excited to try. I write with my other hand a lot, and I write upside down and backwards for the kids on my table. But I haven't done a lot of
teachers actually do better at this than most people do, actually, because you guys are already reversed of all things. Coaches, teachers, you already think you're right as your left, just because everything you do is facing that direction, right? So. Yeah, so that is bad. That's good training just by itself, actually.
Yeah, as a coach, I do mirror the kids a lot. I didn't think about that one.
Yeah, you do. And that's the neat thing. And it's just in class, when you see that kid that's just having that day, it could be as simple as saying, hey, squirrel, here, I bet you can't write your name with your left hand, right? And then make them challenge at that. And so that's where I think those little things, just the basis of what I understand now with neurology and the simple things. I'm going to tell you a story before we end on one guy that Amy knows very well. He's in our office. It's a really cool story to this day. Al is an amazing guy, and when he started with us, he had Parkinson's, sort of like he kept getting diagnosed with Parkinson's in the doctors that he kept going to, which, I wasn't arguing with that. It's like you see this tremor, but I've seen some, and this is a thing to take away from here. I have seen where Parkinson's isn't an actual Parkinson's condition. It's actually, it can be due to the neurology of somebody's neck. So when they get that diagnosis many times, it isn't a bad idea to go to a chiropractor and see if there's something they can do. Al is a good example of this. So Al came in and he hardly could write his own name on the shot. He could not write on the sign-in sheet very well. Well, me and him didn't even notice. We were adjusting him and getting his back, and we'd get him feeling pretty good. So he came on a pretty regular basis. But what was crazy was the front desk staff that had seen him the first few times said, Jeremy, check this out. So they brought me the sign-in sheet from the first day that we had seen him. And then it was like several months later, we got to see his sign-in sheet the next time. And it was like night and day. It was like he never lost his, he never lost. And what did we do? Nothing. We adjusted him. We got all his spine right. And then he was more he wanted to do more to help himself. And so because he started getting on a bike. He got on a stationary bike, and he'd go 20, 30 minutes, like every day. And then he'd do an hour, and he's still to that day. And I've seen Al for a long time now. But very controlled. I don't think he ever had Parkinson's, to be honest with you. I think it was more of a neurolot that the flow of the nerves, like what we talk about all the time, nature needs no help, just no interference, right? So if you get that interference off those nerves, are those nerves going to function better? Yes, right? So functional nerves, did I say I cured him from anything like that? No, but it is something that we've held off. And he was kind of a miracle going back to his doctor, because they're like, I've never seen anybody improve a tremor like that, right? It doesn't happen. And it was all Al, completely with everything. And so I get chills thinking about him every time I see him, because he just does what he needs to do to get it going. And our goal isn't really, it was never to do that. It was just to get him to feel good, in the chiropractic, making sure his back's feeling good. He can move pretty good, and that just was one of those happenstance moments. And part of it was the way we kept it going was he was able to add movement to his day that he wasn't doing before, but he wasn't weightlifting and doing this extreme stuff. And then he taken it upon himself this last probably 2 years to start coloring. So he started doing these coloring pages. And now, I don't even notice it. He gets bothered by it, of course, like if he gets like tired or, that kind of thing, and that neurology shows up. But, you barely see it on the guy. And part of it is these little tiny things. He's coloring, right? That is mind blowing, like Rachel, you can see it out in my background up there. It's on the top of that bookshelf. Have you ever seen that little like crystal art? Oh, what is it called? Dang it. It's art where they use these little diamond art. So you can get them at like Michael's, Joanne Fabrics, those kind of places. But these diamond art, what I've been telling people is especially if you have an older person that's struggling with movement, those things are addictive like a crossword puzzle. But they have to take this little tiny diamond and make these beautiful pictures. I got to give Tammy credit. Tammy in her office, she does them all the time. She makes some gorgeous stuff out of those. And just that movement alone will make a world of difference for you. So it's just little things like that. Imagine doing the diamond art thing, right? With your left hand or your non-dominant hand, just thinking of that. So if you have a loved one that you'd love a gift for, why not help them with their movement patterns by doing something like that, right? So that's why puzzles, that's why what my ladies knit all the time. My guys need to do something, right? Other than watch the TV, because that's an inside job. Like everything's coming at you. There's no output. So your brain doesn't have to work, right? So that's a thing. Especially my guys, we have to use our hands in these little tinier ways. And this like diamond art was super cool. So I just wanted to end on that one. But you guys got anything else? We did pretty good tonight.
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, cool. So next week we're going to talk some more Mike Dooley and visualization again.
Nice.
One of my favorite topics of all time. And we'll go a little deeper in there. There is so much to that, but it seems so simple. But that will be fun. So each week I'm going to try to do that. We're going to try to do a movement pattern, a chiropractic, something physical. The next week will be mental. And then the next one will be nutritional. So that will be, I might continue on the herbs, on the lungs, or, those kind of things. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And thanks for staying up again. I appreciate it.
No problem. See you tomorrow.
All right. You guys have a good night.
You too. Bye.
See ya. Bye.